as things go from bad to worse and from worse to catastrophic for Donald Trump, he's sending his proxies out to various state regime media networks here in the United States, state regime media which calls itself Fox, state regime media which calls itself Real America Voice, and these Trump proxies, as they try to cover up Donald Trump's catastrophic war in Iran, Donald Trump's cratering of the United States economy, Donald Trump's cover-up of the Epstein files, these proxies are getting more nuts every single moment, and it's reached a level of like nuclear nutso right now. Like, let me show you what went down as Trump pushed out one of his like evangelical proxies, a guy named Pastor Robert Jeffries, who says Donald Trump has a better understanding of what the Bible teaches than the Pope. This as Marco Rubio met with the Pope, and apparently it did not go well because the Pope stood up for actual human values and decency and dignity. He gave Rubio a peace plant. Rubio gave the Pope a crystal ball football, and then Rubio thought he was going to bully the Pope, and the Pope was like, dude, get out of here. What are you doing? Watch Donald Trump's proxy, Pastor Robert Jeffries. Here, play this clip.
Get your take here. The Vatican put out a statement, and they said that there was an exchange of views. We don't know what exactly that means, but they exchanged some views. Give me your take about this public criticism from really both sides.
Yeah. Look, I think it's commendable that the Trump administration is meeting with the Pope and trying to work with the Pope. The Pope is a good man. He's sincere in his faith, but he is sincerely wrong when it comes to Iran. The Pope ought to know, and I think he does know, God created both the church and government for two distinct purposes. The role of the church is to point people to faith in Jesus Christ, but the role of government is to protect citizens from evildoers, according to Romans 13. And look, 3 days after this conflict began, I was in the Oval Office with President Trump and a few other faith leaders, and he told us that Iran was within weeks of getting a powerful weapon that would destroy Israel, much of the Middle East, and could bring great harm to America, and he had no choice but to act. And I thanked him then for having the courage to fulfill his God-given responsibility to protect our nation. And you know, the great irony is it looks like President Trump has a better understanding of what the Bible teaches about the role of government than the Pope has. Okay. And I'm glad the president hasn't backed down at all.
Okay, I got to ask you about...
Okay, then if you're like, yo, that was pretty freaking crazy, Ben. Yes, it was. But then you've got MAGA Republican Senator Ron Johnson from Wisconsin. And he's like, look, I know things are bad now, but we saved so many lives by pointing out that he just spreads all of these lies about COVID. And then he claims that as many as 3.9 million Americans died as a result of the COVID vaccine. So this is like the most deranged lie. This guy's like a United States senator, and that he and Trump, they've saved so many people's lives by calling out the vaccine. That's what we're talking about on May 10th. This is what we're talking about. What are we doing here? Americans can't afford anything right now. Americans can't afford their rent. Foreclosures are record high. Consumer sentiment is like the worst in its history. And we have politicians, these MAGA moron senators and Congress members saying this stupid stuff. What are you talking about? It's so dangerous too. Here, play this clip.
The Johnson & Johnson, young women of childbearing age, 6. In terms of the other 2,900 deaths reported of VAERS, Senator, people die. Today, worldwide, we have 39,000 deaths reported on VAERS. 24% of those occur on the day of vaccination or within 1 or 2 days. We know from a CDC commission study at Harvard called the Pilgrim Study that is looking at VAERS to improve it, less than 1% of adverse events are actually reported to VAERS. So take that 39,000, multiply it by as much as 100 times, that could be 3.9 million deaths. So again, the only reason I'm talking about those numbers, I didn't need a sophisticated mathematical algorithm to tell me that safety signals were screaming at the American public, at me, at federal health officials, at doctors. Everybody administering this program should have been looking at this going, whoa, what's happening here?
Now, a lot went down this week. I have a lot more I want to say, but enough of me. Let's bring in the Alien Super Show. You got to hear what the aliens have to say. You know it's my favorite time of the weekend on the MeidasTouch. Let's bring in the aliens.
Wait, Gleep. Obama was talking about how he wants to be Earth's emissary.
For first contact.
If there were aliens, I think I would be a good emissary.
We've got a better idea.
Better idea.
I mean, Obama's great and all, but...
He's fine. He's honestly lost his fastball. I think we got a much better person in mind.
Who are you thinking, Zotox?
I'm thinking Will Wheaton, and I think Gleep's got him on speed dial.
Hailing.
Will, welcome to the ship.
Hey, I heard you're looking for an emissary?
I think this is like a beta test. We're going to try you out.
A betazoid test. Thank you.
That's more Worf's thing, but like I'm absolutely here to help out however I can. I will be your traveler.
I've waited a long time for this moment, Wesley.
Well, Will, let's see what's going on.
Yeah.
We can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon. You might be too young for this. I don't know.
Isn't it like a Megan's Law violation that those kids are so close to him?
You can only talk about your war crimes 1,000 feet from children.
Yeah.
You guys look about island age, right?
Who's this older gentleman pretending to be a child? We see.
They're all holding skateboards and wearing backwards hats.
And Iran with a nuclear weapon, and maybe we wouldn't all be here right now.
You kids would have been vaporized.
I'm surprised that he didn't hit on any of these kids because he was so busy traumatizing them for the rest of their lives.
And then all of a sudden, a woman dropped dead with a bullet right there. Always right there.
Always right there.
It's at this point that one of these kids was like, when I asked the monkey's paw for a day off of school, I really should have been more specific.
Submitted for your approval the case of an overworked, overstressed child who just wants a 3-day weekend.
Somebody should ask one of these kids, like, if they have any ideas about, like, you know, they're certainly as qualified as anybody else in this room.
Who's here been in a school shooting?
Yeah, exactly.
Show of hands.
You're in public school. It's basically a battleground.
Come on, you guys get it.
A lot of our farmers are struggling with high fertilizer prices. I'm aware of that. As the President of the United States has said, we got a little blip in the Middle East. We got to take care of some business.
I really hope this president doesn't get us into World Blip 3. That would be terrible.
I was born in 1972. And I remember the end of the Vietnam War, and I remember people coming home from the Vietnam War, and I remember how important it was to the adults in my life that we criticized the war, but we never criticized the people who were drafted or the people who chose to fight because they believed in the cause, whether we agree with them or not, right? They made that choice. Some of them were put in there against their will. And like, to denigrate that the way this administration consistently does, that they have anything over 1% support in the military is horrific to me.
It is wild.
And like, I don't have anything funny to say about this. It's just so offensive and disgusting. And when he speaks, he just has like, he creates this charisma black hole.
It's true. He has anti-Riz.
I'm thrilled for him to keep talking because the more people get to know him, the more they don't like him.
When I see Iowa farmers who need to get that E15 to market, what is this? What is
Yeah, bring it home, JD.
Where's the line where I patronize you?
Runway's wide open.
Oh no, the illusion that I give a fuck about you people is unraveling before your very eyes.
I've had to sit here breathing poor air for at least, hang on, Peter Thiel is talking to me through the implant in my head. I have to listen to him. Right?
Okay, there we go. Sarah Trone Garriott. There he is. I'm on the wrong page here.
Sarah Trump Garriott. Now that's a name that you keep in a holster.
Yeah.
No, wait, am I for her or against her? I can't remember.
Project Freedom. To be clear, this operation is separate and distinct from Operation Epic Fury.
To be clear, because Project Freedom is a very complicated pair of words that you stupid liberals can't understand. A project is a thing you do, and freedom is the thing we're taking away from you.
Project Freedom will be paused for a short period of time.
How long was it in effect?
It was about 3 hours.
Yeah.
Hey, to be fair, they did a lot of inside trading in those 3 hours.
They're focused now on James Comey and seashells.
Yeah, it's not just seashells, okay? It's all the other creepy things that this guy may have been saying at the time.
Operative word may.
What discovery have you been privy to, Greg?
And there's indication that he was saying a lot.
Oh, indication.
That's a good tease, Greg. Now you got to pay that off.
This must be incredibly damning what he's about to say. Surely this is footage that has not aired before, since it is so shocking.
A person who sees moral equivalence in Charlottesville, who talks about and treats women like they're pieces of meat, who lies, that person's not fit to be president of the United States.
Oh, lock him up! Lock him up!
Say that in shells.
You can't only use shells for that. You need seaweed to get that out also. Maybe some driftwood to underline it.
What other oceanic debris?
That kind of rhetoric was being quoted in manifestos across the country.
Manifestos on the editorial pages of literally every paper except the New York Post and the Wall Street Journal.
They convince themselves that these false things are true, and they give themselves the moral justification and even the legal justification in his head to do something terrible to the president.
This reminds me of that Simpsons episode where the interviewer manipulates the footage with Homer like he's attacking him.
Mr. Simpson, no!
Oh, Mr. Comey!
And your silence will only further incriminate you.
Don't take your anger out of me, Mr. Comey, no!
Recreation may not have actually happened.
I'd love a Republican Party that wasn't constantly tapping into our worst impulses. And there has been a Republican Party like that in the past, and I want to see that return.
Do you remember your own presidency?
Does everyone have dementia now?
This is what I'm talking about. I love you, President Obama. You are the best president of my lifetime. And what in the world are you talking about?
What happened?
Stop talking about them like they're reasonable people you can reason with.
They're all fucking psychos, and they've been there the whole time.
And the idea that if you just go a little farther back, that's when you find the real...
Yeah, the good ones.
It's like, oh, like around McCarthyism era? Like,
right. Which Republican Party?
He means the Republican Party that Abraham Lincoln was a member.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Before they switched.
There's been a lot of conversation regarding UAPs.
UFO, sure. I mean, we're talking about things that go hundreds of miles an hour underwater. You could not survive in that. Literally, you would turn into a ketchup package.
Does that mean you'd be packaged nicely and then offered as a condiment?
A delicious vinegary sauce.
Now, if you had specified Hunt's ketchup or something off-brand, yes, terrifying.
Right.
A bottle of ketchup dropped on him once when he was a child.
Nightmare.
He does sound like he's from the type of place that has cats up.
This sounds like you're under the impression it is extraterrestrial life.
Yeah, I am. I don't think it's us. I mean, do you think we're the best that God can do?
I am clearly not.
He's like trying to neg all of mankind.
Yeah, exactly.
As a lifelong fan, listen, I'm conversing with aliens right now. As a lifelong fan of science fiction, I love thinking about how the universe is so vast that it is highly likely that somewhere else there's something real similar to what we're doing right now, but it's just happening in a different way. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Where is this guy's humility about any of that?
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, we are so lucky that God made us and all of these aliens, and we probably have an ethical and moral responsibility to care and provide for all of God's creations. It's weird how with these evangelical Christians, they get right up to that and then veer off into, so trans people have got to be stoned to death. That's just, it's in the book. I'm sorry. It's not what I wanted to do, but I got to do what the book says. They're so full of crap.
Wow, Will.
Well, thank you. Honestly, this was such a lovely time.
Oh, thanks, you guys. This was really, really fun. I appreciate it.
Is there anything you would like to plug at the end of the show? Anything going on in your universe?
Yes, there's the biggest thing in my life right now is my audiobook podcast where I narrate a short work of speculative fiction every week. It's called It's Story Time with Will Wheaton. I'm also on tour with Stand By Me with Jerry O'Connell and Corey Feldman. The tour is called Stand By Me Live. We have 2 shows coming up in July, and they are in June, and they are in Indianapolis and Chicago. Information about that is at standbymelive.com.
Hey, awesome. Chicago Theater.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those shows are really, really fun. It's wonderful to meet people and find out what Stand By Me means to them.
That's great. It really, like, you make our hearts grow.
I know.
Jeez, wow, it's so nice.
I know, you're the most genuine person we've, I think, encountered. We're full of cynicism constantly. You're so refreshing to speak with.
Thank you so much. Maybe today you've learned a little bit more about the human condition.
Yes.
I really love our planet. I don't think you need to destroy it. We're doing a really good job of that ourselves.
Yeah.
But listen, if you want to come back, there's this one guy in Congress who really loves ketchup.
we serve an infinite God, a God of the universe. So what I've seen, I wouldn't, put it as, Marvin the Martian kind of thing. But I do believe that this is more spiritual. And if you really want to go there, demonic.
Hey Humies, thanks for tuning in. If you like the show, help us invade your planet by subscribing to our YouTube channel or drop us a comment. We really love those. If you really like the show, subscribe to our Patreon where we share some bonus content. All right, okay, gotta go. Bye!